And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes," said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling, but I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Cinderella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, and to turn Cinderella's do-rag and clothes into a gown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a carriage drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Cinderella and her stepsisters lived. He said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either. Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Cinderella singing. Cinderella said, Prince Singling, is that you? Prince Singling said, of course it's me. Cinderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed, Hinder's Doors, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella 2 Wishes Come True. It's this. It is based on Cinderella 2 Dreams Come True. Once upon two times, Cinderella and Prince Singling were happily married. 6 months later, they are pregnant, but Cinderella is sick, so the baby might die. Cinderella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. She chants the magic words, Winnerly, Wannerly, One, and waves her magic wand. And the baby is cured. And the baby is a boy named Oliver. Olive, Nina, and Esme have a few tricks up their sleeves, though. They are complaining about not marrying Prince Singling. Another 6 months later, Oliver is almost 6 months old. And he can't wait to have his royal birthday party, and it's tomorrow. The next day is Oliver's royal birthday party. Cinderella asks, what about our gift, father-in-law? Oliver has now a magical necklace previously owned by the King of Onlyville when he was a baby. He needs to make a wish, rub the jewel on it, and the wish will come true. The King of Onlyville's imaginary wakes him up now. Sees that Olive, Nina, and Esme are breaking into the party. He says, oh no, they're trouble! Oh, big trouble! He then goes over to the king and tells him, Your Majesty, your son and daughter-in-law are in trouble. The King of Onlyville gets so infuriated he yells, sound the alarm! The King of Onlyville blows a trumpet that the king's guards hear an attack. Olive, Nina, and Esme attempt to escape. Oliver said, and I wish Olive, Nina, and Esme are trapped, rubs the jewel on it. Olive, Nina, and Esme are now trapped in the castle's dungeon. And so, the birthday party is saved. And he, alongside his parents, lives happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doors, I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 5 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, and the twins Ellie and Emmy. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy all together. One day, the king of Tripleville's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Tripleville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Stripling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are... Tasha said, He's going to marry me. Hannah said. No way, Tasha. He's going to marry me. Rena said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Ellie said, all three of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Emmy said, are you kidding, sister? He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad because she cannot go to the ball. Suddenly, Cinderella's fairy godmother asks what's wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and Mary Prince quit tripling. The fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. She waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word. Triply, trappily, triply, true. And then Cinderella's chores are all done, but the fairy godmother said she's not done. She then said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 3 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, triply, trappily, troppily, true. And then the 3 pumpkins turned into a handsome coach drawn by 6 strong horses. And then Cinderella's do-rag and red dress turned into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a triple-tastic crown and gown. And get a load of my glass slippers. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Trembling was wondering who he should marry. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy say all together, he's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. But he's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Tripling dance together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she's running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Tripling was so worried. He afraid that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Triple to find her and brought the tiny glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where Cinderella and her ugly mean stepsisters lived. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on this glass slipper? Tasha first. Hannah second. Rena third, and the twins last, but none of their feet fit. Suddenly, Prince Tripling noticed Cinderella singing. She exclaimed, Prince Tripling, is that you? Prince Tripling said, of course it's me. Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Tripling back. And he doesn't need to put on the glass slipper back on Cinderella's foot because it's so uncomfortable. And they both live happily ever after. The end. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella 2, 3 Wishes Come True. A sequel to Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon 2 times, Cinderella and Prince Tripling are happily married. Several weeks later, they dreamed of having a baby, but there's one problem. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emily have a lot of tricks up their sleeves and can do anything to stop Cinderella and Prince Tripling. Another several weeks later, Cinderella and Prince Trembling succeed in getting pregnant, but Cinderella is sick. Luckily, Cinderella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. She waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, "Triply, triply, triply, true!" And the baby is cured. However, the spell has a side effect. And so it wasn't one baby, it was triplets. Cinderella and Prince Tripling aren't upset though. They're overjoyed instead. They then name the triplets Tina, Fiona, and Simona. 6 months later is the day of Tina, Fiona, and Simona's royal birthday. Suddenly, Cinderella asks her father-in-law, the king of Trumpelham, "Everyone has their gifts, but what about your gift, father-in-law?" The king of has three magical necklaces for his grandkids. But he only remembers one thing they do: make a wish and rub the jewels on them. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy try to break into the party, but Cinderella's fairy godmother traps them in a bubble. The bubble carries them, Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Aaron, and Emily themselves all the way to the desert. It pops that causes them to fall into a chasm. Meanwhile, back at the party, Tina, Fiona, and Simona really love their birthday gifts. And inside the chasm is a magical wishing charm, but it only grants 3 wishes. And once they're used, and only when they're used up, the magic of Tripplebell will be gone forever. And the only way to restore it is Wish Away Falls. Wish Away Falls' water can fill up the charm and restore the magic of Trippleville. This gives Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Aaron, Ellie, and Emmy an idea to seal the charm. The king of Tripplehill's messenger saw it and said, "Oh, no, we're in trouble! Oh, big trouble!" He then goes over to the king of Trippleville by saying, "Your Majesty, 5 evil ladies are sealing the wishing charm." "Sound the alarm!" the king of Trippleville yelled, which his messenger blows a trumpet alarm. That his guards hear him yell, "Charge!" and attack, but before they could, Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy used their first wish to stop them. Luckily, Cinderella, as fairy godmother, chants the magic word again, "Triply, triply, triply, true!" and waved her magic wand to turn Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy into stone statues, resulting in Trippleville being saved, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. I hope this was a fun story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on buy our merchandise at IntroduceEverything.com. And now I've been debating on making the Cinderella sequence a bit of tradition. And take care. Bye. And now, Introduce Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 4 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella. Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all," said Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella all together. One day, the king of Nottingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of non-obligation is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Non-Obling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Nina. Isabella said, no way, Nina! He's going to marry me! Natalia said, both of you are wrong! He's going to marry me! Ella said, all three of you are wrong! He's going to marry me! Later, Cinderella is so sad about not going to the mall and marrying Prince Non-Obling while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Non-Obling, but I have lots of chores to be done. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, Cinderella has 9 pumpkins and 18 mice. Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to tell her the 9 pumpkins into a hands-on coach, the 18 mice into horses, and Cinderella's rich clothes into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a non-fantastic gown, and get a load of my glass slippers. How can I ever thank you enough? Cinderella's fairy godmother said, well, you can't. But have fun, Cinderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Non-Obling was wondering who he should marry. He's walking towards me, said Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella all together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. May I have this dance? Asked Prince Non-Obling. Cinderella responds, I would be delighted. Cinderella and Prince Non-Obling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Non-Obling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Non-Obling to find her, and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home where Cinderella, Nina, Isabella, and Natalia and Ella lived. But instead of Cinderella, he finds Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella. Prince Non-Obling then said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Nina is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. Natalie and Ella did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Non-Obling noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. The glass slipper fits! Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Non-Obling back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, I hope you enjoyed this story. And if you want to see some sequels to Cinderella, something like that, etc., tell your friends about it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise to onandroideseverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella 2, 9 Wishes Come True. A sequel to Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Let's start the story, shall we, Andrew's doers? Once upon 2 times, Cinderella and Prince Nonopling were happily married. But Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella have lots of tricks up their sleeves. Several weeks later, Cinderella is pregnant but sick. Very, very sick. So the baby might die. Luckily, Cinderella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. So she waves her magic wand. And just in time, the baby is cured, and a girl, they named her Olivia Nonopling. To celebrate her birth, a fireworks show. Meanwhile, Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella were trying to think of a way to stop Cinderella and Prince Nonopling. While they were doing that, Ella, the youngest of Cinderella's ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, stumbles upon a magical wishing charm. But it only grants 9 wishes. And once they're used up, the magic will be gone forever. And Nonopling will be doomed. This gives them an idea to use it to accuse chaos. Cinderella and Prince Nonopling ride horses to get the charm back. But Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella use the first wish by saying, "We wish neither witch," and Prince Nonopling will be stopped, which causes the charm to turn Cinderella and Prince Nonopling's horses into mice. Cinderella's fairy godmother flies to help. She waves her magic wand to turn Cinderella's and Prince Nonopling's clothes into roller skating outfits, so that they can catch Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella. Meanwhile, at Nonoplingham Castle, the king of Nonoplingham finds the only way to restore the magic of Nonoplingham. Wish Away Falls. Its water can restore the magic. Nina, Isabella, Natalie, and Ella then cross a bridge over a canyon with the second wish to make it collapse by saying, "We wish the bridge will collapse," and Cinderella and Prince Nonopling fall into the gap. Cinderella's fairy godmother whistles to call her pet and winged horse named Twinkle, which catches them and gives them a ride. But Nina and Isabella, Natalie, and Ella is the third wish by saying, "We wish there was a storm," which causes the charm to create a storm that's so loud that it frightens Twinkle, which causes her to buck Cinderella and Prince Nonopling off her back and into a cave. To make matters worse, a lightning bolt causes a boulder to block the way they came into the cave. Cinderella's fairy godmother tries to save them, but gets struck by lightning. and hits the ground, resulting in her being dead. What have we done? whined Cinderella and Prince Nonobling as they are full of despair, as they will never save Nonobling Ham. Tough Niner wench and Prince Nonobling, said Cinderella. Isabella, Natalie, and Ella all together. Suddenly, Cinderella and Prince Cinderella's fairy godmother, who is now black and dead, so is her magic wand, floats into the air, and when the storm is over, the sun shines on her. Then a rainbow hits Cinderella's dead fairy godmother, and she arrives with a cool upgrade. Oh my! Hey, what happened? She wondered after being revived and upgraded. She looks at her new body. She is rainbow colored. She then flies over so fast that Nina, Isabella, Natalie, and Ella and just hand over the charm. And so they did what she said. Cinderella's fairy godmother, who is now revived and upgraded, frees Cinderella and Prince Nonobling by using her magic wand and fills the charm up, which away falls as water, resulting in Nonobling being saved. And they all lived happily ever after, even Olivia Nonobling. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Internet Everything. And buy our merchandise at interneteverything.com. And bye and take care. Bye.